Hey guys, so this video is actually a preview from my YouTube advertising course, and so I'm pretty excited to show you guys this video. And basically we go really deep into one of the biggest questions I have, which is how do you set up target CPA campaigns and how do you get them to run well? We're going to dive deep into that, and this is actually my YouTube ads course, and this is from there. So if you're interested in that, click in the link in the description and enjoy this video and the preview of the course. Hey guys, what's going on? We're gonna get into Target CPA. I'm really excited because this stuff is great. This is powerful and this will really help you with all your campaigns. So let's get right into it, guys. The power of Target CPA. So we consistently see lower CPAs when using Target CPA bidding, especially for cold campaigns. Like, they just work so well. And the thing is, they're not the easiest to figure out. And if you know how to do them properly, you can get really great numbers. You have a powerful advantage over competitors who can't figure them out. Around 70% of our budget is spent on TrueView for Action, aka Target CPA bidding, and I'm going to teach you how to use Target CPA masterfully. So you also want to review a document which I'll include in the course resources section, called CPA and CPV bidding rules. So let's get into how to actually use this. So when to use Target CPA? So use maximum CPV at least until you hit 50 minimum, 50 to 100. 100 is usually when Target CPA will really start working well, and then you start the campaigns. Like, get that initial data in, right? Get in some conversion data so Google knows what to optimize for. And big news, Google's actually going to allow you to optimize for sets of conversions or individual conversions very soon. I just heard it on the conference they're having. So that's going to change things up, and obviously I'll release a video when that does happen. Make sure the budget allows you to hit 6 to 10 target conversions a day in the campaign. So here's the thing, bottom of funnel often doesn't work well with Target CPA, just because you're not going to get 6 to 10 conversions, or you won't have something to optimize for, right? Like, for example, like if you're driving them to a sales page, you're going to get maybe one sale every few days, because you just won't have enough data, right? Like, you're driving them to a high ticket sales page, you're selling them a $1,000 product. It's a very small audience. You just, for those kind of small audiences, you want to stick to CPV. Unless you're getting like 6 to 10 conversions a day for that, stick to CPV. So very small audiences and Target CPA, no bueno. Big audiences and Target CPA and lots of budget, yes. So if you have a $5 Target CPA, then you want to be spending a minimum of $30 a day, but preferably $50 to $100 a day on that campaign. So 10x is really good. 5 to 6x your Target CPA, it'll work. But and then 20x is like, oh man, you're feeding that algo so much data. So if you're on a really low budget, it may make sense to just stick with maximum CPV until you get something profitable, and then start doing CPA. And Target CPA is really great for broader audiences, including keywords, topics, interests, and placements, like really big placement lists. It's not great for small audiences or placements that get low views, right? So how do you use Target CPA? So typically what Google recommends is 7 to 10 days is when the optimization really kicks in. So keep it running even if the KPIs are high, unless the cost per conversion really high, or you're not getting enough conversions, right? Like, if it's like 2x and you're 3 days in, you might want to pause it, right? Like, but if it's like 1.5x, then keep it running for a few more days just to get, let's see if it starts improving, if it starts dialing in. Because it goes up and down a lot initially, especially like the first 5 to 6 days, it goes up and down like crazy. And if you've gotten 5+ conversions over 3 days, but cost per conversion is more than 2x your Target CPA, if you spend 5x your CPA with no conversions, then you can pause your campaign. So let's say you want to get leads for $10 and you don't get a lead for $50 of ad spend, then pause it. And if you are getting conversions, but cost per conversions are like 2x your target CPA, but you still have time left, I would still pause it, right? I've usually seen that like at that point it's not gonna do that well with that. If it's within 1 to 1.9x, keep it running for 7 to 10 days, and then if it doesn't come down, then stop it, right? Like if it's like not hitting KPIs within 7 to 10 days, then 100% cut it. So the whole rule is, and you can play around with this, if it's like a really high CPA compared to what you want, pause it sooner. If it's borderline, if it's like a high CPA but you can live with it, then let it optimize, give it more time to just optimize, right? So that's my suggestion. Now, delivery issues with target CPA. This happens a lot. People ask me, hey, why are my target CPA campaigns not spending? Why are my campaigns not spending? So first thing is try to get 50 conversions in with CPV campaigns before starting CPA campaigns. So the reason for this is, like, if you have enough data, then you are essentially able to just Google's algorithm knows that, hey, I have enough data, or the theoretical, like it has enough data, right? Like it's not going to say to itself it has enough data, but it knows it has enough data. If it doesn't have enough data, it's like confused, because an algorithm, it needs data to be fed into it for it to be able to optimize for something. So that's why first hit 50 conversions with CPV campaigns before starting CPA campaigns. The more conversions you have in an account, the faster CPA campaigns will run and start up. So if you don't have 50 conversions, don't even bother with target CPA. You could, but sometimes it spends, sometimes it doesn't. Just get the 50 conversions first before asking me why it's not running. I'm like, yes, get 50 conversions first, and then you can try starting CPA campaigns. So with a fresh account, if let's say you do get to 40, 50 conversions and you start setting up CPA campaigns, our first target CPA campaigns, we go with a really high bid. So 2 to 3x our goal CPA, and if that doesn't deliver, like deliver means spend, then we go 10x. Like literally, sometimes we go 10x our what we want. So if you want to get $10 a lead, we'll put in $100 bid. And here's the thing: usually it doesn't get us leads that expensive, but it kickstarts the algo and gets it to spend, and that way you get data in, and then you can reduce that bid. So that's one thing. So first thing, make sure you have 50 plus conversions account. Second thing, try higher bidding. Try a higher bid just to get the algo up. Number 3 is make sure your targeting option is broad enough. It's like if it's a very niche targeting option, it may not run. You might want to go for a bigger audience, like let's say a very popular keyword, topics, affinity audiences, big list of placements, custom intent. You want to go for bigger targeting options and try different targeting options out. If you're still not able to get campaigns running, try duplicating it with the same settings and try that. And the other thing is also, you want to increase the budget and see if the algo starts running, right? Like as I mentioned in this slide, you want to be spending minimum 6x your target CPA. So if your target CPA is like, okay, here's like a sample campaign setup, right? Let's say you want to get leads for $10. So what I would do is bid $20 and then have a budget for $100 a day. So that gives you, the bid is high and the budget is high as well, and those are all important factors. So try all of these. I'll have this as a separate slide, but try all of these if your target CPA campaigns aren't spending. Usually doing these will do the trick. These will usually do it. If it's still not working, maybe try a different ad account. Sometimes that happens where some ad accounts, it just seems like they're cursed and they just don't run. You need to reach out to Google reps. Sometimes it does happen. But all of these, if you try these, usually it will get target CPA campaigns to start functioning quite well. What conversions should you optimize for? You can choose whether Google Ads will optimize for conversion by clicking yes or no for include in conversions column. So I'll show you guys that. Sorry. You go here, measurement conversions. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have a slight cold right now. I'm just like, hate colds. So this column right here, right, included conversions. If it's included yes, Google will optimize for it. So you go in here, you go to edit settings, and let's say you want to measure something but not have the algo optimized for it, which I recommend, right? Like if you have too many conversions in your account and it's optimizing for all of them, it's going to mess it up. I would just have it optimized for the ones that are important. So this is, if you uncheck this, it won't optimize for that. So what I mean by this is we usually optimize for leads and sales. So we will check it. We will have this check which says include these conversions in your conversion column. Again, this is in tools, conversions, and then you click on the conversion. Include these conversions in your conversions column, and it will optimize for that. And here's the thing, we will optimize for leads and sales, but we track other conversions as well as attended webinar, add to carts, etc. So the reason for this is basically we don't want to optimize for, let's say, every conversion out there, right? Like page views or attended webinar. We just want to optimize for the ones we think will be our most important. So we just uncheck those so it doesn't optimize for that. And as I mentioned, Google will come out with basically a way to optimize for what you want to, like choose sets of conversions for campaigns to optimize for. For now, you just have to do it like this. And this depends on what your funnel looks like. So you can play around with this. Let's say you're selling a $47 e-commerce product and you have a small budget. So you might not be able to optimize for, let's say, purchases or add to carts initially. You might not be able to optimize for purchases initially because you don't get enough purchases in for your budget. But you could optimize for add to carts. Start getting a lot of add to carts and start feeding Google purchase data, and then uncheck the add to cart, only have the purchase one checked, and then it will only optimize for purchases. And that can, it's a way to kickstart target CPA bidding by giving it conversion data, even if it's not the end conversion you actually want to go for. Same thing for leads, right? Like if you have an info product offer, you can't just optimize for a $1,000 product. Like that's not going to work, honestly, because I mean, you're just not going to have enough data, right? Like unless you're spending like, I don't know, like $10,000 a day, you're not going to have enough data to optimize for a $1,000 product. So advanced tip, try optimizing for time spent on page. So if you're just starting out and you want to get some target CPA campaigns up, and what you could do is set up a conversion to fire with Google Tag Manager after they've been in there for 3 minutes. That's something that will be covered in module 3, which is like a more advanced module. But basically the gist of it is use Google Tag Manager, put a conversion, basically a conversion action, and have it fire inside Google Tag Manager after 3 minutes of them on a page, and have that page have a video. So now you're only targeting people who watch a few minutes of your video on that particular page, which means they're qualified people. So that could be good if you don't have a lead auction to optimize for, but you want to optimize for something that's not a sale, something in the middle. So that's important. The long game. Your account's CPA campaigns will perform better with time and more account data. We see aged accounts with tons of conversions perform better. So the more history your account has, the better it does. And newer accounts often have a fairly tough time within the first month or two of running ads. That's just how it is. Just like Facebook, the more data you have, the better you do. The more conversions you have in your account, the better it will do. So the first couple of months, you might be relying a lot more on CPV campaigns. If you're lucky, the CPA campaigns start popping off and doing well initially. But if not, you may have to rely more on CPV campaigns until things start rolling well with the CPA campaigns. And keep running CPV campaigns side by side. We still run CPV campaigns in all of our accounts because sometimes they perform better for whatever reason. So CPA campaigns most likely perform better, but we still have a lot of CPV campaigns perform well as well. So we often have those two running side by side, especially when we're testing new targeting. We'll have a CPV and a CPA campaign. CPV campaign kind of gives us like a more stable performance, while CPA can do really well, but sometimes it can bomb as well. So that's why we like to have the CPV campaigns as well. And month 3 onwards, that's where you'll have enough data the account will really start kicking in, results will start getting better. The longer we work with our clients, the better the results get, in part due the algorithm just getting better at finding people who are interested in our products. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it on Target CPA and how it works. Let me know if you have any questions inside the group. I know I covered a lot of material here in just 15 minutes, but hopefully this is useful. I highly recommend watching this video 2 or 3 times and take notes and read through the slides, because this stuff is essential and will help you guys get really good results. Cheers, guys.
Talk with our head in the clouds, and we will walk with our feet on the ground.